There we are. Let me just set up my screen really quick. First of all, I gotta mute my screen so we don't get some reverb going here. I'll set a short goal because it's asking me to do so. And let's see. What are you gonna get in exchange for me meeting that goal? If you're watching on the replay, just fast forward to the first minute or two, if you wish. Just doing the little, setup housekeeping here. And let me turn off my screen notifications. There we go. And set up the chat filter to all messages on the camera. One more thing, let me just catch up my desktop screen to make it somewhat in sync with my camera screen. Hey, Kelsers. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Jane. Running Riot, a channel member. Welcome in. You're the first member of the day in. How you doing? Oh, I got to set my chat to live chat. Make sure if you're watching the chat, if you're actually going to participate or you want to read the chat, that you click live chat rather than top chat so you can see all the messages. I'm hanging in there. Not 6 feet under, so that's a good day. Hey, Lori Smith. Yeah, I got your message last night. We talked back and forth on it. Apparently, YouTube, once again, was having troubles with people trying to push the super chat button, and it wasn't working. And that's a YouTube issue, people. Sorry about that, Lori. Cindy, thank you. I've got my mojo, welcome. Rita Close, welcome. Hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. That's a good one. That's a very good one, Running Riot. You know, we need a little humor here because I believe this is day number 150. Do you realize tomorrow is July 1st? July 1st. It'll be the start of the 6th month on this case. It'll be 5 months and 1 day tomorrow. That's just incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. And I want to say a little something today to the kidnappers, but before I do, we need to go over a few things. Let me just give it a few more minutes. Hey, Brian, welcome in. Thank you for watching all those replays, Brian. Hey, Jay. Hope you're doing well, my friend. 23 people in the house, 6 thumbs up. Let's get this video out there. Thank you for the red hearts on the screen. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. Yeah, my subscriptions kind of slowed down after I hit 3K, to tell you the truth. Now we're at 3530. Yesterday it was going up and down all day long. I would gain a couple, I would lose a few. And the little metric clock was going ding ding, and then it was going, thunder and lightning, like, oh geez. And then it would go ding ding again because it hit the even mark, the 30 mark. But then it would go down a notch, and it was going back and forth all night long. I could hear it while I was trying to sleep. I could hear that metric going off. That's my YouTube subscriber counter. Saw the short and it was spot on. Which one, Lori? Was it one of the highlight films? Because I have the shorts and then they have the short highlights of the videos. Roscoe says, I saw the chef on TV again. He is his own worst enemy. I think so. Kelsers, yeah, Nanos is horrible. Wish he would resign. Okay, I got 38 people in the house. Let me introduce myself. I'm April Davis, PI. I'm a California licensed private investigator. I've been reporting on the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case, at least that's what we're calling it now, since February the 2nd, 2026. And today is June 30th, 2026. So this is crazy. Tomorrow will be July 1st. It'll be 5 months and a day. I can't believe it. Hey, Maggie. Cindy, April, agree, Nanos. watched this from day one. Absolutely. The sheriff has little man syndrome. Yeah. And the most incompetent sheriff that I have ever seen, and I'm older. Some of us females would refer to that as little D syndrome, but we're not going to say the word here. Before I, plead to the kidnappers to do what's right and please step forward, I saw an interview with Brian Enton. It was a Brian Enton video on his YouTube channel with Dr. Gary Bricotto. I usually agree with most of what he says, most of it. I definitely agreed with this one. They recapped the first two ransom notes, okay? The original one, they came in like within about 24 hours to the local TV stations, and then the second one, which went to only one station. And that second one, remember, did not go to TMZ as the first note did. And, I have to agree with a lot of what he said on this, and it's basically what I've been telling you guys on my channel all along from day one. And let me just recap them really quick. Ransom note number 1. He finds it very peculiar that the note was addressed to Savannah only. Now, there's several possibilities. Number 1, she is the money source in all of this, because remember, this case is probably about money, and it could be a personal dig at Savannah as well. So either it's an emotional thing to make her feel bad, or it's because she's the money source. But he still finds it peculiar that none of the other family members, like the siblings, were mentioned in this note. It's just, Dear Savannah. I thought that was a very good point. And this is something I've said from day one as well, even before we knew what was going on here. Was the note designed to show that this case was an actual abduction, or was this note rather something else? Think about that. I've said that from day one. I'm still not convinced this was a kidnapping. And these are just my words. I'm not convinced because of the time spent in the house. Everything is weird. The ransom notes, the TMZ involvement, the minimum of 41 minutes in the house. Something's just wrong with that. So he, Dr. Gary Bricotto, also says he's not completely convinced it was a kidnapping. Described front porch guy, as possibly being a sociopath, with no empathy, no sympathy, no feelings, because he was just so calm and cool. He still believes that there's a chef and a waiter, as I said, the queen bee and the worker bees, or the puppet master and his goons, basically. Yeah, those are my words. The puppet master and the goons, or the queen bee and the worker bees, but he calls it the chef and the waiter idea. That there's, the person that's calling the shots, and then there's the hired lower level people that are involved in this. He does believe that the people involved are middle-aged, not young, not old, but middle-aged. I'd say 30s, 40s. I kind of agree with that. As far as the people at the scene, probably 30s. But I'm not 100% sure because we don't know who did this yet. And remember, everybody here is innocent until proven guilty. That was the short highlight about what if the perps were watching the live stream. It was great. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, you guys can see that on the shorts tab, because I usually put up a live highlight and then there's like a video attachment and it shows what video it goes with. What was it about this case that interested you to begin with? Because it's a celebrity kidnapping. It's involving a mother of a celebrity, and it's involving an 84-year-old woman, which doesn't typically happen. Thank you, David, for coming in. Kelsers, I wonder if it was just addressed to Savannah since she is a celebrity with money. Most likely. Hello, Psychic Writer. Sharon Corin, hello. Okay. Now, he goes into a little bit more detail regarding the second note, and that only went to the one Tucson TV station, and that's the one that they just released some of the contents last week that implied that she had accidentally died. I just want to make sure to differentiate that from the first ransom letter, and this has nothing to do with the TMZ ransom notes, or the text ransoms allegedly sent by Derek Colella. But the second note, that was basically, we're sorry, we're not sorry, but she died. He says that note could be a phony cover story. Oh, hey, Connie, another channel member. Welcome in. I hope you members are using your emojis, and you can also go to the little Super Thanks tab, and you'll see like a little pop-up that you can put in showing that you're a member. And it doesn't cost you anything. They give it to you like once a month where you can put that little tag on the screen. He says that the writer of that note, the second note, announcing that she's deceased, could be emotionally attached to the victim. Yeah, someone who's emotionally attached to this. Let's see. Okay. Just got to take somebody out. Probably written by a female, meaning the second note, not the first note, but probably written by a female due to the sensitivity and the language. Now, this is what really got me. He described that note as, he said, it's poetic. You hear what I just said, people? He said it's poetic. Compared it to the JonBenet Ramsey ransom note, which I thought was interesting. And he did say something about that, which, thumbs up to him. He said, by the way, he believes that JonBenet ransom note was written by an outsider. Just saying. Because I've said that from day one. Had to slip that in there. If you haven't seen my video on the death of Linda Hoffman Pugh, go see that live video. Once again, emphasize that he doesn't think the first note sounded like it was written by a female. Very struck that this second note as well wasn't addressed to the entire family. We don't know, Kelser's possible. Anything is possible in this case. The language, here's this word again. The language was poetically inclined. His exact words. There is no Nancy Bonet Ramsey. There's a JonBenet Ramsey, and then there's a Nancy Guthrie. And we're talking about Nancy Guthrie, but he just made that little dig in there, which I think is great. Possibility, and I've said this too. You guys watch all my videos in the Nancy Guthrie playlist. It's possible that this note isn't real at all. It's a weird note. It is a weird note. How many kidnappers in under the first week give up on the ransom demand and write a "we're sorry she's dead" note? Like, huh? Keep going for the money. That's what it's about. He is convinced that the people involved in this crime are local. I basically think that's a very good possibility. Nothing is 100% sure, but I'm leaning towards that, and I have been from day one. He says, keep beating the drum. So for all the people like the trolls that come in here like, oh, who cares and why are we still talking about this? Because we need to make this relevant. That's why the YouTubers on the ground are still out there. Keep beating the drum, because he believes eventually someone will crack under pressure. Rather than most cases that are solved by DNA or forensic evidence, he thinks this is going to be something different, that someone is going to crack under the pressure. He said the same thing I said. He believes that the front porch guy is just a hired goon. Exactly. However, he also said something similar to what I said, because I said, remember, someone who's involved in this has intimate knowledge of Nancy and that property. And he said that someone involved has some degree of knowledge of Nancy. Definitely. Hey, Sandra, she likes my Adam 12 card. You look good in it. Yeah, go see the community post, everybody. Nathan, keep Nancy's name alive with the yellow ribbon and the yellow heart. Thank you, Nathan. Remember, hashtag justice for Nancy. Psychic writer, I've never heard, or nor have I imagined any kidnapper continuing correspondence after the victim has died. Why take that risk? None of it makes sense. Exactly. Lori Smith says, University of Arizona jacket, definitely a local hired goon. Now, another thing that he said, besides the fact that he believes that front porch guy is a goon, but yet someone else involved in this has some degree of knowledge of Nancy. Like I said, somebody has intimate knowledge of Nancy and that property, both the inside and the outside. He is fascinated that no one has come forward to claim the reward. Mr. Casey, do you think Nancy has died? I think she died within a day or two. Someone involves, he says, someone involves feels more emotional about her. And I think he's basing that on the second letter. Because like this person just stated, what kidnapper writes to say, like, she's dead? And that note was received on the 6th. And remember, that's when Savannah went public with the siblings on the 7th for the second time and said, we are listening. We hear you. We're willing to pay. We want to celebrate with our mother, something to that effect. When I heard that, I was like, oh my God, she has died. And they have got some sort of notification about that. Perpetrator somehow obsessed. Possibly, Jay. Especially with it being addressed just to Savannah. Because remember, as a PI, the first thing I thought of was, oh my God, this is connected to Savannah. And this is before we knew it was a kidnapping or an abduction or an unaliving. We just knew the first day that it was a missing person. And that's all we knew. And right away, my Hollywood PI mind went to Savannah. And it still does. Whether it's, somebody directly trying to target Savannah or it's someone close to the mother. The Savannah factor and the money is definitely involved in this. But someone involved in this feels more emotional about her than perhaps just the hired goons that were at the scene. Let me hydrate for a moment. No politics, no religion. It's interesting how Cameron never sits next to Savannah in either Instagram post. It's weird. Welcome in, Annette. A perp that cares that much points to a woman, in my opinion, says Kelsers. Very possibly. Now, I've also said this once we realized that she was actually abducted. Oh, sorry, I meant Annie. Okay. It's interesting how Cameron never sits next to Annie. Okay. Something that I've said once we realized that this was an abduction kidnapping. I hated to use that word kidnapping, but then the FBI agent I talked to that I consulted with, who was retired, who's not involved in this case, said, well, if she was taken away from her house, that it's definitely a kidnapping, like she was taken against her will. But I was more or less thinking, was this a kidnapping for ransom, or was this really something else? So they'll still get charged with kidnapping, no matter what the motive was for this. But is someone throwing out these notes as red herrings? Give me a moment. I need to adjust my AC, and I need to close the window so that the AC doesn't go, cool off the courtyard. Give me a moment. Getting a little toasty out there today. It is July tomorrow, so those temps in LA are going to start creeping up. Jay, personally, it's personal to them, involved with family somehow. Very well could be. Although, Jay, I will remind my audience here that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But you guys throw out whatever you want to. Cindy, since Derek Colella changed his plea to guilty, I'm wondering if he is going to throw anyone under the bus. Well, I heard that originally he as soon as the FBI came to the door, he like basically stuck his hands out to be cuffed and said, "I did it." But now I'm hearing that plea has been changed. So I don't know what his plea is at this moment. We're going to find out more on the 2nd, which would be Thursday. Oh yeah, that's this Thursday. Thanks for bringing that up about Derek, because God, that just seems so far in the future, but it's like literally a few hours away, July 1st. Nanette says, I agree with you, Jay. Subliminal, can I speak? Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Oh, geez. No. How come I knew that was trouble? I must have seen you before. Okay, goodbye, trolls. Thank you for the engagement, though. Well, I got 75 people in the room. Only 25 people have given this video a thumbs up. Can you guys just go give it a thumbs up or put some smiley faces, some happy face emojis, or some red hearts across the screen if any of my members are still here? I know a couple channel members came in earlier. Why don't you throw up those custom emojis? I heard that, Running Riot. 857 Tucson. His name is Damien. His charges were dismissed today. And he only had a citation, but his citation was dropped. And I was happy to hear that. I don't watch him that much. I remember seeing him a little bit at the beginning of this, sitting next to JLR. But he really, in my opinion, hadn't done anything wrong. So I was happy to hear that. Terry, hello. Lynn Broad, hey, thank you for putting up the custom emojis, my friend. Can anybody that's a member go down to where the dollar button is? You don't need to donate, but just click that you are a member and you can like send a message across the screen. I think YouTube allows that once a month. One of my former mods told me that, like, if you're a member, you can post something like once a month. Like it'll pop up like that membership box, like when you first purchase the membership, but you don't have to purchase because you're already a member. It'll just, pop your little box up on the screen. Cute emoji, Jay. I like that one. They're trying to change Juanita's charges. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard about that. Oh, okay. Danette says they were dismissed without prejudice, April, so he could still be charged up to a year in Arizona. Well, I hope not. Now, if you look at my thumbnail, this was kind of a message to the kidnappers, and I've said this before, because somebody brought up in one of my videos, like, hey, I wonder if the kidnappers are watching you. Well, and then I made a short highlight about that. And I think somebody earlier in this video said, hey, thumbs up to that short. Thank you for the alert. What is UNC or Unk Alert? What is that? The Unk Alert. Thank you, Soulflower. Did I know Damien is a talented artist? No, I don't know much about him. I just know that that's the first name of the guy that's from 857 Tucson. And I didn't even know that Damien was his first name until the day that he got that citation. Trying it out hasn't let me even use emojis till now. Cat Lady Grandma, welcome in, my friend. Fluff Muff. I haven't seen you before. Have you been in here before? Horsey Love, thank you for the gold coin, my friend. Kelsers. Oh, that looks like Kelsa Kitty in a box. In fact, I had a little teeny Amazon box last night that was very small. And I think that was the one that the two of these came in. And she was trying to climb in and sit in it, but she was too big. And it was just making her crazy because there's this, she's grown quite a lot the last few months. She's getting kind of large. I'm going to have to start watching the food intake with her because she was just a little skinny runt when I had her. And she's getting to be quite a larger cat now, and a large cat trying to fit into one of those small Amazon boxes was quite funny. Those emojis are adorable. Yeah, they give me 10 right now based on the amount of memberships. And apparently I need at least 6 or 7 more. Lori Smith, somehow you fixed the super chat button. Thank you, Lori. Yes, she was trying to donate yesterday, everybody, and there was some kind of glitch. Said she was blocked or something. Wasn't by me. This channel needs every penny it can get. In fact, today is June 30th. That means whatever I make today is the last money that'll come in that will count for the June totals, which I won't see until at least July 21st. And then tomorrow starts all over again. And then I got to hit the minimums. Kinsley, welcome back. One of my Canadian friends, welcome in. I'm still here, Doug. But I want to give a message to these kidnappers, as I've said before. If you're involved in this, turn yourself in. Be the first one that sings like a bird. Luke, thank you for the thumbs up. Marlboro Man, hello, friend. Do I remember you from something? I'm going to have to wait and see. Nanette, hard to believe it's already going to be the 1st of July. I know. And here in LA, and I'm not kidding about this, after July 4th, all that summer stuff will be ripped off the shelves at CVS, even though summer just started like June 21st, and they'll have to make room for the Halloween items, which they once told me that they're in the store in the back rooms long before July 4th. But it'll actually be in LA, July 5th will be the start of Halloween. I'm not kidding. And I love Halloween. I kind of felt that was coming, Marlboro Man. So I'm going to have to take you out. Goodbye. Come back in 24. Halloween stuff in Target already. I haven't shopped in Target in years. There's not a Target that's, that close to me. Well, it kind of is if I wasn't disabled, but being disabled, I can't really get that far. And then the Halloween stuff would be all the way in the back. And, with my cane, I don't think I'd make it that far. In Georgia, I'm not surprised. I happen to know that what goes on in the CVS's because I'm there so often picking up my, prescriptions or my vitamins. Mama sells, Mama sees all. Mama sees all. Thank you. Hoping I get more subscribers soon. Yeah, me too. Everybody give Mama a thumbs up on that. Oh, and I guess because she did a minimum of 5, which by the way, I set the minimums at, the lowest, which is like $1 or something. But because she hit the $5 mark, you can actually reply to her chat. Thank you. At least you can on the desktop. I don't see it on the mobile. I see it on the desktop where it says reply. But that option is not on the desk or on the mobile device. That's interesting. So I guess it depends on what you guys are watching this on. Your scripts are delivered. I have my meds mailed. I'm sure somehow that would get screwed up if I tried that. Margaret, your post disappeared. Haven't seen you until right now. Thanks for coming in. So kidnappers, turn yourself in. Remember, the first bird that sings will get an easier deal. And considering that, she died in the process of the kidnapping, whether it was an intentional unaliving or an accidental unaliving, all of you turds involved in this are going to be charged with murder 1. So you're going to have kidnapping and murder 1. So, in Arizona, which is a pretty conservative state, you could be facing the death penalty. So, have a conscience, somebody. Come forward. What would you rather have? Decades or life in prison versus, the chair? Or do they even have the chair? What is it? Lethal injection? What a horrible way to go. Like, save face. Rehabilitate yourself. Is it true the daughter interviewed some Epstein victims? Yes, Savannah Guthrie has as a as a journalist and a broadcaster. I get a family pharmacy. CVS is slow as ever, aren't they? My patients, after having triplets, disappeared. Oh, I remember now. You have triplets. Any latest news? Well, Nanos said in a radio interview over the weekend that there have been additional people arrested for sending false ransoms to the FBI. And I thought he just meant that in general. Like, hey, he thinks the third set of ransoms to TMZ are fake. And, yes, Derek Colella was arrested, but I thought he just meant in general, like, oh, the FBI, they do arrests for, fake ransoms. But I think he meant regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. So there's been other people arrested in this, apparently, if we were to believe anything that comes out of that man's mouth, that has not been made public yet for sending phony notes. And there's a real debate as if to the TMZ notes, which I call the third set. And they were coming in mostly just in February, but then they started up again this past Friday in, the end of June. There seems to be a debate as if to, are those real and should somebody pay that 1 Bitcoin? Mine are scripts that must be picked up in person. Yeah, mine are so complicated and always changing. It would be a nightmare for the mail. It's better for me just to have it all in one place. Horsey Love says they honestly don't have a conscience, but if there is a person who hires them, do you think they are alive after making mistakes? I do, because I have an idea who those goons are. Just saying. Oh, it says my goal ended. Why did my goal end? I'll just start a gift goal. Sorry if the screen is shaking. Hey, Kelly Girl on Fire. What about Savannah's ex-husband? Margaret, you need to see my my suspect video from several months ago that's under my video tab. Do you think ICE was involved? Nope. You must have a timer on it. Yeah, but you can still donate don't even worry about that timer. It's just if I don't set it, it keeps popping up on my screen. Nanette, do you think the last letters were written by a female? We just talked about all of that. That's what this video was about. Basically, the beginning part of the video was Dr. Gary Bricato's conversation on the Brian Enton video. We went over the whole thing. Mr. Orchard, yeah, you have to see my suspect video. It's out there. It's under the video tab. Is it possible he was paid to call them to throw the case onto A&T? Is it possible that who was paid? Yeah, there's a lot of videos on this. Go to my true crime tab. Go to my Nancy Guthrie tab. Uh-oh. We're getting pretty close to a block on Wavy Gravy. Sure, no problem, Nanette. Sorry I missed that. I'll watch it after we finish. I'm really late today. No problem. I appreciate you coming. Cali Girl on Fire says DC, Derek Colella. Is it possible he, I thought that's who you meant, was paid to call them to throw the case onto Annie and Tommaso? I doubt it. I think he has a relationship with Annie and Tommaso, possibly. We're going to find out, aren't we? Trust me, at some point, this is all going to unravel. And I think there's going to be a few surprises. People are going to be like stunned when all of this comes out. Is Weirdwig in here? Look at these. I got my computer glasses on today. Horsey Love. The perp sent them a text and called one of them. Like, how did he call? Everything else is emails. Well, remember, he is connected to the same people in the music industry that Tommaso is connected to. That's all in the suspect video. Supposedly they are fishing buddies. Who? I've heard that that's true about Nanos and Tommaso. Mostly Dolls Helicopters welcome in with the gold coin. Thank you. That's just so long ago. What's so long ago? Oh, you mean the Derek Colella text? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Meaning the band. Yeah, remember Derek Colella's band is Secret Mutilator, and Tommaso's band is Early Black, which I mistakenly refer to as Early Dark, but it's Early Black. And supposedly they have the same band promoter who is DJ Mojito. There's everybody in this town, it seems, or everybody at least in this case, that has come up, even in the slightest ways. It seems that everybody in this town is connected, related, or connected through the 6 degrees of separation. Once again, see the suspect video or just rewatch it. And there are some updates in the comments as far as the dates of certain things that have happened. Oh, thank you for putting up the bunny and the kitty emojis. You had them confused. Go see the suspect video. It's really important, you know. And it's not in any specific order other than the order that the names came out. Yeah, sometimes I watch it again, and that's how I had to change the date on the day that Luke Daly bought the Range Rover, because things change, information changes, things update. Thank you for saying it's a good one. I just thought it was an editing nightmare, and I gave up on it, and hardly anybody watched it. So I guess I still suck at YouTube. I guess I'm more suited for the lives, but I prefer just to do the regular videos that nobody's watching. DJ Mojito always had bite light in his mouth. Oh, I didn't know that, Lori. That's interesting, isn't it? Man, aren't they connected to Goth Porn Chick that was out in the yard having her photos taken by her boyfriend? Those people are all connected too. DJ Mojito means little son. I didn't know that, Nanette. Thank you. Trying to keep notes so I don't keep having to listen to videos. Some things are good to watch more than once. Yes. I watched some of these older videos because it's like so much has happened that I'll watch some of my older videos. Oh, Margaret, thank you. She says, I have to get paid on Thursday, then I can member up. Thank you so much. If I could, today is not July yet, so I can't gift any more memberships until the month of July. And I kind of like to do it like on a weekend when there's like 100 or more people in the room at any given time. And then I'm like, hey, who wants to, have me throw out some free memberships? And then, more people come in. But I don't have any until July. And I'm wondering, should I do a July 4th video because that's a holiday, or should I just not? Did Nanos have a connection to Savannah before he was in Tucson? I don't think so. He's been in Tucson a long time. So is Savannah. At least she was until she grew up and went to college. Horsey says, yes, they are all in that weird cultures thing. Yes, aren't they? That's what I'm hearing. And is that connected too to all this Wiccan stuff? Like, that just creeps me out. Yeah, Nanos came from like the El Paso Police Department. Was it El Paso or one of those Texas towns that's like in West Texas? And that's why they're trying to fire him, because now they dug into his past and they found out that he supposedly lied on his resume. Yes. You know, Kelser says, yeah, Annie creeps me out. Something about her eyes is dark to me. That's what I said about this teacher that I had been warned about for years. And she was supposed to be in the high school. And then for the first time in my life in 8th grade, my mom allowed me to go from private to public. And I saw her, even though I didn't know it was her, but I recognized her. And it was like, I talked to my older friend who was then a senior, and she's like, how'd you recognize her? And I said, because of those eyes, it's those killer eyes, and she laughed and made fun of me. And I'm like, no, really, like she has killer eyes. And, I guarantee if she hasn't like done something to someone, she will. And then she did. And I was in high school and I almost walked in on it. And it was like national news. It was a big, big story because things like that didn't happen when I was a kid. Oh, Jace is not surprised he lied. Yeah, and you lie to me once, you lie to me twice, you lie to me thrice. I don't trust a liar. I think Nanos would be more of a friend to Nancy as he's older. Yeah, he's too old to be doing this. He should be taking his law enforcement retirement. And that raises red flags to me. Like, is he really truly in gambling debt? Is he a gambler? Is he a big spender? Or like, why is he not just enjoying his old age and his retirement? Hey, Sassy Granny. Welcome in, my good friend. Annie is ocular Wiccan and can read a person by looking at them. Creepy. I don't even know what that means. I got to look that up. Ocular Wiccan. You know what? I got my little boogie board here. I'm going to write that down. I know that everybody said she was Wiccan, but what does that mean? Can somebody explain that in the chat? I'm not stupid, but I am ignorant on this. I don't follow all this witch crap. He's 72. Savannah's like 54. Yeah, I thought he was in his 70s. What sheriff is still 72 and is still working? Lizard eyes. There is something off about those eyes. I'm alive, Sassy. Yeah, look it up. I will, Nanette. Tommaso and Annie, MIA. Absolutely. But there could be good reason for that. Frank says she's a witch. Yes, she is. I took classes in Tucson. Like I said, she's into some strange things. Chat would not have enough room. Jay says, how do you know she is ocular Wiccan? Rita says she's a white witch. Oh, gosh. A 72-year-old sheriff. Nano says no wife and no life. I thought he did have a wife because I thought she was friends with Sue Ellen. People have mentioned her before. Does he have an ex-wife? She advertises it on her classes. Who, Annie? She advertises that she's a witch? I'm so confused here. She's very depressed, but she can cast spells. Creepy. Her poetry is extremely dark. Horsey says he's married. I thought so. But I don't know him personally. Jay says no such thing evil as evil. Yes, Annie does advertise Wiccan. What the heck? I just don't like that whole aspect of this. Whether they're involved or they're not involved, I'm still creeped out by both of them. Dang. The wife is wealthy. Why is he still working then, Maggie? Especially when everybody hates him and says, he's such a dumbass. Excuse my language. His wife is Charlene. Okay. Is her name Charlene Nanos? It was a Wiccan holiday on the 1st. That's what I've learned since I started reporting on this case. He's a P. That's what I've heard too. Charlene Nanos. Okay. Mama Sees It All says she identifies as a Wiccan witch, and yes, her eyes are deceiving. On 2/1/2026, yeah, the day of the crime was supposedly a Wiccan holiday. But see, I don't know anything about all that. Yes, and I believe Charlene is Wicca as well. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Well, that's a red flag. Wiccan and burial rituals only allow natural burials. Yikes. Narcissistic a-hole, says Maggie. White witch is evil too. Evil is evil. Oh, this is going the wrong way, this discussion. Oh my God. And then, I'm watching all these other videos that are about this case, mostly mainstream news people, not so much the other YouTubers. And if you look at the comments or you look at their chats, there's like, it's got to be at least 80%. I've heard the number was 80%, but it seems like more that are following this case think that A&T are somehow involved in this. Of course, I'm not going to say that on a public YouTube channel. Cat Lady Grandma says, holy moly. I like that saying, holy moly. Holy moly. These people are all creepy. And then you look at sweet little Savannah. Well, not little, because she's very tall. She's tall and she's cute. And we've had people that have come in here that know her or have met her. One knew her. A simple kind of gal lives in Nancy's neighborhood about 2 blocks away. And her former husband used to work with Savannah in the day. And then our beautiful flight attendant friend, Lori, comes in and met her on a flight and says she was just so nice and everybody loved her. Nanette says that Wiccan holiday was about purification with fire. Buried with nature. Is that considered a natural burial? Good question, Maggie. Hobble one says, witches are fairy tales. Etsy is just a dark website soliciting hits on high-profile folks. Hey, Chaos. I know! Kelsa says, man, this whole Wiccan thing is just creepy. If you go to Reddit, she has stories. Annie does. Oh, that would be an interesting read. I'll have to do that, Horsey. Thank you. Let me write that down, too, on my little boogie board. Annie on Reddit. I know! Mama sees it all, or Mama sees all. Look at that round little chubby Savannah baby in the family photos. I know! Who would believe that little chubbo baby would grow up to be the gorgeous person that she is? Psychic writer, I do not believe it is the family. I do believe that someone connected to the family, either a stalker or an ex-employee, friend of the family, etc. Very, very possible that somebody involved in this has intimate knowledge. But it doesn't necessarily mean family. KMG, hello. The sisters seem like complete opposites. Savannah has stated that she has a strong faith in God. I understand that one. More than you guys could possibly know. Lori Smith, don't think A&T involved, but someone in their sphere. Possible. But I'm still creeped out. And Nanette says it really creeps me out for sure. Yes. Yeah, we got to stay away from that subject, Hobble one. Linda says, I say it was the son-in-law. He was the last to see her alive. You always have to look at the last people to see her. I can't see chat screen change. You know what, Horsey, just go out and come back in. Hey, Ash Cash. Cali Girl says it's psychic. I agree 100%. What did psychic say? Oh, okay. That was a good statement. Who sent me the sparkles? Let me get to that. Pikachu sent the sparkles. Thank you. Horsey says, I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is either, but I do have my opinions that I keep to myself. I'm beginning to believe it has something to do with someone wanting Savannah's job. I hadn't thought about that one before. I think it's more locally involved, I think. But me being a Hollywood PI, well, mostly retired now, but still, with my experience, even though I don't see this a lot, I do see celebrities and family members, people close to celebrities with targets on their backs. Whether it's a parent or a child or a sibling or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, significant other, they all have the targets on their back. So you have to throw the Savannah factor into this with all that money. Her ratings went up when she had throat surgery. Then her mom was kidnapped. Ratings kept going up. When she came back, plummeted. Her contract is up. Oh, I don't know about her contract. Oh, she just has the rest of this year. I was going to ask you that next. Venus, I'm coming in. I'm late coming in for sure, but did you see the one streamer's 857 charges were dropped? Yes, I did. We actually talked about that a little bit. Somebody else brought it up in the chat. Margaret Lund throwing out the triple yellow hearts. Cat Lady Grandma, yes, I heard yesterday that when Savannah was off of her vocal cord surgery, that ratings on the Today Show increased by 12%. That's a lot. And that she had come back early. Never watched the Savannah Guthrie show. It's actually called the Today Show. Nanette, I can't believe it only took 2 minutes for Nancy to move from T's vehicle to walk with her mobility issues. I know, that doesn't add up at all. I certainly want that explained more when all of this mess comes out. There's a lot of questions I have because there's too many red flags in this case. But remember, we here, the public, we don't know all the pieces of the puzzle. I don't know who Janice Dean is, believe it or not. I don't know who that is. Cat Lady says she agrees. I knew who Savannah was from Annie, but not from TV. God, I remember her court television days back in the day. Way, way back in the day. Linda says there had to be 2 people involved. Yeah, at least. Maggie says Janice retired with MS. Fabulous lady. Yeah, I don't know who she is. I'm sorry. Horsey Love says, I never watch TV. I hate media. I like social more. Yeah, I basically just watch YouTube. Well, and then my baseball. Janice Dean was pleasant, unlike Laura Ingraham. I know who that is. Horsey said it was cheaper. What's cheaper? Oh, not to watch TV. Okay. Cali Girl on Fire. That's a good point. I'm wondering if the garage door opening and closing has nothing to do with how she got into the house. Good point. KMG, Nanette, I'm going to time my dad getting out of the car and getting in the house. He walks slow but doesn't have mobility issues. Just moving slow and sometimes. Cable is crazy high here. Here too. I haven't had it in years. Even before I was diagnosed with cancer and I already wasn't feeling well, that was one of the first things I did because I was getting sicker and sicker and I was unable to work as much as I had in the past, and I was working less and less because I was so sick and nobody knew what was wrong. And I'm like, well, there goes the cable and there goes my baseball. And it was a very depressing time for me because I didn't feel well. None of the doctors were helping me, and I live around baseball. That's the time of the year that I start living and breathing again. Laura Ingraham makes the Tea Party look bad. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of hers. I don't really watch Fox News, to tell you the truth, people. Kelsers, whoever did this can't be living comfortably. I couldn't imagine living my life looking over my shoulder. Exactly. Come forward. Hey, Peggy says, April, how you doing? I'm here. Hit the like button for you. Thank you. Phoenix, Arizona here. What's the temp today in Phoenix? In fact, everybody here, why don't you type in where you're watching from? Type it into the chat. Laura Ingraham, is that Melissa Gilbert? No, that would be Laura Ingalls. I think they're talking about the newscaster, Laura Ingraham. Melissa Gilbert was Laura Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie. Lori Smith says, can't rule out Revenge Serve Cold. 2019 interview exposed McClintock's and the Prince. Inside Scrubber had much information or much info and reach. Good for you, Jay. I don't sleep much at night, so I sleep more during the day. But apparently yesterday was a full moon, and I'm like, oh, that explains why I hadn't been sleeping. Nanette says she's from San Diego. Running Riot is in Florida. Peggy says it's about 106 today there. Oof. That's in Phoenix. Linda, I don't think Nancy made it home. The home was staged and made it look like she was there. Well, that could have been at the beginning, but when the blood evidence came out, then I'd have to disagree because of the oxygenated blood. Cali Girl on Fire says, Northern Cal here, nice and sunny this week. Yeah, it is nice. But I just had to turn down the air while I was on here because it was getting a little hot in my apartment. An ordered kidnapping, says Doug Dillner. Yeah, kidnapping for hire. Kidnappers knew her, but not super close to her. Yeah, the goons. The puppet master and the goons. The worker bee versus the queen bee. As Gary Bricano said, the chef and the waiter. Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter what this is. Horsey Love, I have no idea who that is. That woman's husband got in trouble for something. Oh, yeah. I got some videos on that, and he's still in trouble. He's still in trouble. We're talking about Melissa Gilbert's husband. But she played Laura Ingalls, Melissa Gilbert, over 50 years ago. The people that were saying Laura Ingraham, they were talking about the newscaster. Kelser says, watching from Kansas, it's humid, hot. I think the humidity, it feels like 102. Oh my God, in Kansas? Heidi, welcome in. Deerfield Beach, Florida. Nice. Cat Lady Grandma says Indiana 93 feels like 103. Ugh. But you know what would be cool about Indiana and Kansas, places like that, is you guys do have a change of seasons, which is kind of cool. Evansville, Indiana, 93 degrees. Wow. The Midwest is sizzling. Hobble one. Beware the government, media, military, pharmaceutical, industrial, Hollywood complex. Nanette, 73 in San Diego. I love it. Kinsley's in Ontario. Ontario, BC. BC. Ontario, Canada. Thank you for the heart. Mostly Dulles helicopters. 90 degrees in Indianapolis. Yeah, I bet it's cold there in the winter, though, isn't it, Jay? Remember, my parents are from Illinois, and Brutal there in the wintertime. Jeremy Taylor, I still think there was a hard drive with much information on graft and corruption money. That became too hot with all the corruption investigations. Don't know. I don't think it's that far down the rabbit hole. Horsey love. Let's see. Oh, you guys are just talking in the chat. Okay, that's cool. Linda, she's from upstate New York. I think that's where Sassy Granny's from. Are you still in here, Sassy Granny? Psychic Writer says Central New York. Horsey Love says 108 in Savannah, Georgia. Oh my God. Psychic Writer said pacemakers don't lie. Brian Inton says second note was a woman. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Indiana has a nice break from summer from the end of September till May. And September is the most brutal month of the year here in LA. It's brutal. Mostly Dulles helicopters. Thank you for the floating heart. If I didn't mention that, I'm a little behind on the chat. Savannah, Georgia has stayed hot since end of April. Heidi says 87 and humid here, but I love it. Where did you say you were from, Heidi? Horsey says it is cold as heck in the Midwest and driving in ice I hate. Yeah, I wouldn't be my deal. Wouldn't be my jam. Not at all. Good night, Jane. I was in Indianapolis in 82, pink sky and warm nights. Wear denim jacket in the winter now. 92 in Nogales, Arizona. Horsey said it stormed, got more humid, gnats came out. Rain did not help a bit. Horsey Love says 87 sounds good. Heidi says, oh, Florida. Heidi's in Florida, 87 and humid. I know, Horsey says, did it for 10 years, no more snow states for me, but now Alaska sounds nice. Alaska has always sounded nice to me, but I'm sure if I got there, well, first of all, I'm too disabled and messed up to go anywhere. But if I were younger and I went and, they say there's the calling to Alaska, I wouldn't be able to survive the winter, which is about 9 months out of the year there. But I do watch a lot of Alaskans. In fact, one of my main mods, who I haven't seen in a while, he is living in Alaska. Did it for 10 years. Okay, we talked about that. Do I ever something YouTube Wonder Hussy Adventures? I don't know who that is. Jay hates the cold. Then you're living in the wrong state. Horsey Love. Let's see. Cindy, ready for fall weather. Yeah, sadly, our fall becomes our summer here. I would love to live in a place that actually had real fall weather. It's my favorite time of the year. Maggie. Let's see. Unless you drink nothing to do but fish. And where's that, Horsey? Jay doesn't mind Louisiana. I spent some time there as a kid, and I actually had fun, going there, but the weather was pretty bad. I've been to New Orleans quite a few times as a child because we were about 2.5 hours away. It had more to see and do and places to shop and eat than where we lived in Mobile. Linda, someone is going to crack to talk to give up who was responsible of Nancy. They can't stay quiet for long. It's going to eat at them. That's what we talked about earlier in this video. We talked about something that Brian Inton discussed with Dr. Gary Bricado on the latest video. And he said, you got to keep beating that drum. Bricado said that, Dr. Bricado. keep beating the drum. And that's why we're still doing this. And so when the trolls come in and go, hey, who cares? And screw you. And why are we talking about this? Well, you can go watch something else because a lot of people care and a lot of people are interested to see this be resolved. And we got to keep beating the drum, people. So share the videos, like the videos, subscribe to my channel. I got 50 people in the room and I got 50 thumbs up. Thank you. I agree, Linda. Oh, gosh. Here's one of our regular trolls. See you tomorrow, Tyrone. Everybody don't respond to the trolls. Horsey list. Oh, Alaska, yeah. Oh, as far as unless you drink and do nothing but fish. Yeah, I don't drink, so. Oh, let's see. Hubby loves the seasons in Indiana. I like Shreveport. Moved to Indiana right before casinos moved to Bossier City. Your husband's from Indiana, or I mean from Louisiana, right, Jay? Isn't he from Shreveport? Oh, thank you, Linda Templeton. She said she just subscribed. I appreciate that. Horsey Love says I don't drink. Seen too many people actions that I ain't interested in doing while under the influence. Never drank one drop. I hardly ever drank anything, just a little bit when I was younger, but I haven't been able to have a sip of alcohol in years because of all these medications I'm on. And even before that happened, I didn't have any alcohol in my house. Never been a big drinker. But I did grow up with an alcoholic in my family. It was brutal. So I'm completely the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, never was into the alcohol. Cali Girl says sober 14 years. Woo woo. Congratulations, Cali Girl on Fire. Proud of you. You're not a troll, Lori. My mom's bio. Okay, Horsey says my mom's bio mom is a fruitcake from drinking and doing dope all her life. Oh, your mother's bio mother. I met her. Nothing worth mentioning. She's an egg donor to mom, not a grandma. Yep, I understand. Annette says, me either. I'm not allowed to drink alcohol and wasn't a drinker before. That's exactly me. Yes, it can be done. Mom was a foster kid, much better grandma we have. Hobble one says, last drink was $19.99 and no pills, shots, pot, or energy drinks. Just tea and coffee. I only drink a slight amount of decaf coffee. Oh, thank you, Mostly Dolls Helicopters, for the star. Appreciate that. We're up to 243 in the rubies. Why is it telling me to start another goal? Yeah, and it won't let me do it. Let me try to remove it. It won't let me remove it or start it, but it's telling me to start it. Like, just disregard that goal button. I hate that goal button because it just interferes with my chat. And then once you've switched from like super chats to gifts and then you try to reset it, it won't let you remove it. And it wants to start another Hold on. Somebody's knocking on my front door, which is unusual. Thank you. It was an Amazon delivery, and I think it's I ordered some special envelopes for the stickers that are on Whatnot. I may not be able to use those envelopes on Whatnot. I know I'll be able to use them on eBay with that, dollar postage that they have for like the smalls. But on Whatnot, I might have to use just a regular number 10, like white envelopes. But I have them just in case because those are the hard cardboard. So if you're not signed up to Whatnot, go use my code. It's in the channel links, and they'll award you $25 spending money. And then the stickers are listed on there, and you'd basically get them free minus 78 cents postage or whatever they would charge on Whatnot. I think on eBay it would be $1 something, but at least I'd be able to upgrade to the hard envelopes. So yeah, that's another channel expense that was just delivered. And so far, you know how many of these I've sold? 0. I'm probably going to have to do another Whatnot show. So if you guys see me come on live, like later in the evening, and I'm doing Whatnot, it's just a multicast. And then if you wanted to see the menu of what's in there, then you'd have to go over to the Whatnot tab. But yeah, those were the envelopes. I thought it was like a neighbor knocking, because Amazon never knocks. Dark colored caffeine gives you kidney stones. I have a partial kidney stone, even though it was supposedly removed on February the 6th. That's why I couldn't go live that day. And now I found out that it's still a little bit there and it's stuck. So more tests. I don't even get started on the test because I still, since January 30th, have not been able to get the oncology office to call me back and give me my next appointment or to give me my my orders. I hate to think I'm going to have to go see my urgent care just to get a prescription for that. Unbelievable. Oh, good, it wasn't the popo. No, not at all. Are you kidding? As a PI, I've worked for years with the popo, so they wouldn't be looking for me because it's a green screen, because we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Eagle Eyes says, hello, ma'am. Why are you showing Nancy's house? Oh, Jay says, hubby makes Luzani decaf tea. Yeah, can't drink tea. Oh, just gives me a stomach ache. That tube coming out they put in sucked. Last one I passed was 7 millimeters. Ooh. Yeah, mine hasn't passed. It was broken up and they thought it was gone, but it's not. And now I got to get more x-rays and more radiation when they should have just given me an order for an ultrasound. So I'm going to have to try to straighten that out. Gonna grab some dinner, says Kelzers. Hope everyone has a great night. You too, my friend. Oh, wow. Renee says, in northern Mississippi, reached a heat index of 112. Gross. Well, Elena Moore's husband was a PI and a police officer. Another officer with a shady past. Yeah, there's bad people in every profession. What are we talking about, Steve? Resin. Can't ultrasound get it dissolved these days? Nope. The fitness lady in Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. 102 today in Wisconsin. Dang. Yeah, our summer really hasn't even hit. Boy, the AC already turned off. It's like it's not that hot here. Just at my age and the fact that, the cancer meds blocked all my hormones, I get a little hot sometimes. Oh, yeah, I had the lithotripsy, but it didn't completely work now, did it? Doctors. The laser blasts them if it's too large, but that wouldn't blast. Life is difficult. Uh, yeah, I can't take any of the herbal stuff because of my heart. I can't even go to the dentist without a written letter from the cardiologist. Yeah, I drink a lot of cranberry juice. Psychic writer. Oh, let's see. I don't know what you're saying, Steve. I think I have to take you out because you just keep going over this over and over and over again. You're spamming the chat, Steve. Lori Smith sent the gold coin. Thank you so much. Yep, that's what I had in that lithotripsy on February 6th. And it didn't work so well. Mostly Dulles helicopters. I didn't even see it pop up on the screen. It says sent 100. I didn't even see it. I just see it in the text where it says sent 100, but I didn't even see it pop up on the screen. You're addicted to Starbucks. I like Starbucks, but you know what? I like coffee bean and tea leaf better, even though I don't drink tea. Because I like some of their mixed, like those icy drinks. But they do have a lot of sugar in them, so I always get the half. But even with the half, it's probably still too much sugar. And if they add the whipped cream, I have them do the diet one, which is probably like toxic. But I love I love me some coffee bean and tea leaf, some of the mixed drinks that they're almost like, coffee flavored milkshakes, but I have them, decaf and the smallest amount of, powder that they can put in. Thank you, Horsey. Thank you for coming. Go feed the babies. And a 2-year-old. Oh my God. Triplets and a 2-year-old. Don't blink or you'll miss it. I know. I think the smaller ones are like that, like the penny ones, where they pop up small and fast, where the more expensive ones, come across the screen and, block the whole chat. But they're like kind of like the kaleidoscope glasses, but I call them the kaleidoscope eyes because of the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds song. But they're actually technically called the kaleidoscope glasses, and they're like, and you can even see them on the replays, which is crazy once the chat processes. 88 today in central New York, but supposed to be 97. Jeez. Yikes. That's the time of year where New York City even gets kind of gross. Yeah, I'm not as big on Starbucks as I used to be, although I do like that turkey bacon sandwich they have. The breakfast sandwich is just like the egg white and the little teeny strips of turkey bacon, and it's on a little muffin. Those are pretty good. I think their food is a little bit better at Starbucks, but I think the drinks are better at coffee bean and tea leaf. But I don't know how popular that is. Is that just a California thing, like coffee bean and tea leaf, or does everybody have that? Has anybody else that's watching this that's not in California ever heard of coffee bean and tea leaf? It's like really popular here. They have much better customer service too, and they're really, really quick. Where Starbucks, you're just standing in line forever. So Mm, mm, yeah. Wow, horsey love with triplets and a 2-year-old. I don't know how you do it. You must be young. The last note they got has a clue in it where they have Nancy. Yeah, but they would have to pay the Bitcoin to be able to receive that clue, supposedly. Buy a roll of croissants and lunch meat and cheese and a biscuit or muffin pan. You got a biscuit. Yeah. I hate the smell of Starbucks. Yeah, I actually like the aroma of their coffee. Yes, we do have pizza in LA. Not as much as we would have Starbucks or coffee bean and tea leaf. Yeah, I had a little heart flutter moment. Like it always happens during my life, like one or two little flutters. I guess I'm getting so old and broken that my body, it's hard for me just to sit at my desk. Heat index 112 in northern Mississippi. That's crazy. Definitely global warming. Because I don't ever remember it being hot like that when I lived in the South as a child. I mean, Louisiana was pretty humid. Well, the whole entire South was pretty humid, but I never remember it getting that hot. But then you add the heat index and the humidity, and it's just ugh, the smothering heat. Exactly. It's still quite comfortable out here, especially at night. That's what I heard too. Like a Starbucks Frappuccino is equivalent to 3 big Snicker bars pureed in a blender. Yeah, that's just, I can't do that. I just can't do it. Yeah, they have something out here called The Habit, and they're really known for their burgers, but I haven't eaten beef since cancer. But they have some good chicken sandwiches, but they have these beautiful shakes, and I'm like, I haven't had a milkshake probably in 20 years or more. Like, I can't even remember last time I had a milkshake. And so I got one, and I'm like, okay, I'm only going to drink just a little bit of it. And it was so good, I just like inhaled it. Then I'm like, oh my God, how much sugar did I just have? I'm going to die. But it was good. But I was like, oh, that was a mistake. Lots of sugar and cholesterol in a drink form. Absolutely. Linda's got to go, but thanks for coming. The interview room is going live. Well, don't bring people out of my channel and then like when we're still live. Yeah, we don't, I have nothing against other YouTubers, but I do have a problem if somebody comes in and says, hey, let's leave April's chat and go watch the show right now. Yeah, please, you know, um, I would appreciate if you don't do that. Where do they sell malts? I have no idea. Yeah, don't come into my chat and say, hey, somebody else is going live, and especially if I'm getting ready to wrap up. Like we're not done yet. People are still commenting, and I mean, I don't mind talking about other YouTubers, but you can go see it if you want. I mean, you guys, most of the people that follow me watch other channels, especially like Brian Anton, which is great. I love Brian Anton. A lot of you guys watch Ashley Banfield, Nancy Grace. Um, a lot of the guys here watch JLR. That's fine, But just if I'm in my chat, like I don't want to say like I don't want somebody to say like, hey, leave the chat and go watch this show right now. Like, hurry up, everybody! Somebody else is going live. Like, that's not permitted. Oh, let's see. Um, well, thank you for understanding, Nanette. Yeah, I haven't been to an ice cream stand in years either. I really wish my doctors, especially my cardiologist, because I have multiple, could get these arrhythmias, these skipped beats, because even though they say they're not serious, when you have them as much as I have them, it can throw my rhythm off into a dangerous, AFib attack. And unlike some friends that live with it, I can't live with it because it just shoots my pulse up and my blood pressure up, and I'm almost like dead. I wish they could fix this. I really wish they could fix. Ever since I had my first, it's never quite returned to normal. And I hate like when I'm on my chat and I'm like really into it and there's a lot of people here, and then all of a sudden I get that flutter, like I want that to go away. You take beta blockers for that. I take a lot. It's Foster's Freeze down there. We had a Foster's Freeze years ago. I don't know if we still have those. Do I think Nancy's in Mexico? That's a very good question. I've always thought that she wasn't. I mean, she could be, but I'm leaning that she isn't. But that's just my own feelings, I could be totally wrong. Yeah, there was a Foster's Freeze near my very first apartment. And it was a bad neighborhood. It was Van Nuys, and the hookers that would stand on Sepulveda used to hang out at the Foster's Freeze. And that was a long time ago. I can't even imagine what that neighborhood's like now. Apparently that's not even affordable anymore. I'm gonna have to move somewhere where it's cheap. Where's a cheap place to move that's close to Cali? Thank you for coming, Lynn. Oh, your friend has the same flutter, yeah. They're actually like skip beats or pre beats or something. I have a little bit of both. I even feel them when I sleep. You have Dairy Queen. I remember that when I was a kid. I don't know if we have any Dairy Queens out here. I will pray for a resolution, but I smell a cover up. Quite possible, Lori. Dog Diner was a huge, conspicuous chain in the Bay Area. I don't remember that. I lived in the Bay Area, but when I was just a baby, we had the old-fashioned A&W, like the drive-up, like they would have in the 50s. But obviously I wasn't alive in the 50s. But yeah, do I know Sal Capano? No, up in Escondido. Never heard of it. Doggy Diner. Is that still around? Never heard of it. Fat Burger used to be really popular here, but they're unaffordable now. It would be like going to a fancy restaurant as far as the prices. And they do have a turkey burger. I do like that they have a turkey burger, but it probably cost me like $30 just to order one online. Like, I can't do that. And they had the big shakes too. I think that's why the Habit has the big shakes, because they wanted to be like Fat Burger. I miss the Black Cow from A&W. I don't know what the Black Cow is. I just remember going there as a baby to the drive up, and because my dad had the car all day at the Navy base, and then he'd come and pick us up and take us to the A&W for a burger and a root beer. And that's why I'm so into that song Sausalito Summer Nights. It's from Diesel. It's from a band from the Netherlands, but they're singing in English, and they talk about, driving from LA to the Bay Area in an old Rambler, and they're going to have a burger and a root beer, and it's just like, oh my god, that was my childhood. I don't know the A&W Black Cow. They used to have one out near, was it Morongo? One of the big casinos that's before Palm Springs. You can pull off the 10 and you can go to an A&W, and I would bring the big containers home. I don't know if there's that's even in business anymore. The Steely Dan Black Cow. I remember the A&W drive up, but I don't remember. It's root beer with vanilla ice cream. Oh, okay. Like a root beer float? But it was called a Black Cow? I didn't know that. Yeah, listen to that song. It came out in like 80 or 81 by Diesel. I believe they were from the Netherlands. They were definitely from Europe. And they sang the song about Sausalito Summer Nights. And it's like, wow, how did they even write that? Because someone who wrote that song had to have intimate knowledge of California and the grapevine and, going from LA to the Bay. Like, I don't know how they came up with those lyrics if they were from Europe. There has to be a California connection there somewhere. Howard Johnson's had huge floats, so I remember that, but I don't remember the floats. The Hojos. I don't know what Blue Diesel is, but the band was called Diesel. And they have a song called Sausalito Summer Nights. And I know exactly where that is because as a baby I lived in the Bay Area. I just thought that was such a cool song. Going up there for a burger and a root beer. It was just like, yeah, that was me and my parents. Like I said, if I found out, like, tomorrow that, God forbid, that my illness came back and I was going to die, I would have somebody, go to In-N-Out and buy me a burger, fries, and a root beer. The loaded stuff. Because they don't even sell the diet stuff at, In-N-Out. I'd be going for a burger and a root beer or a burger and a strawberry shake. It would be my last meal. Which is kind of facetious because, if you're on your deathbed, you can't even like, drink water by that point. So if they're like, hey, you have 6 weeks to live, and you can still eat for now, yeah, I'd be having a burger and a root beer every night. Psychic writer says, me too. At that point, it really doesn't matter. Exactly. I still wouldn't smoke or drink because I'm not into that at my age. So I would have, somebody said, oh, you could smoke and you could do drugs and you could drink. No, I wouldn't want any of that. But boy, I'd love to have a burger and a root beer. Now, if I had the fries from In-N-Out, I'd have to have a lot of extra ketchup around because, they're kind of like, the fries are kind of like, cardboard. Oh, lots of brands. Yeah, my sister was never into any of that stuff because she wasn't even alive when we had those days where we're out getting a burger and a root beer. We never did that like when she was little. She grew up with McDonald's, and Happy Meals and crap like that. Like I was a baby and it was a treat, like, oh, we're going to A&W, and that probably wasn't good food for a person my age, but yeah, it was like my mom was just tired of being in the house all day and not having a car. She only had the car like if I had to go to the doctor, like the pediatrician or something, you know, because I needed a vaccine or whatever. Like, so my dad had the car, and then we were stuck in the apartment all day, and sometimes she'd get all excited and tell me, like, she wasn't cooking tonight because as soon as dad comes home, he's picking us up, and we're going for a burger and a root beer. And they didn't even have, like, seating. We just sat in the car. And cars didn't have, like, bucket seats or drink holders or any of that back in the day, so it was an old Ford station wagon from Connecticut, and she'd put down the glove box that had the 2 little, like, holders and then pass the drink to the back seat. That's my memory of my parents, from when I was a baby, is going to the A&W and having a burger and a root beer. And what's weird is in that Diesel song, I know we're not talking about Nancy anymore, but in that Diesel song, there was a radio version and there's a long play version. And I don't remember that line about the burger and the root beer in the original radio play version, which is the short play. But if you hear the long play version of Sausalito Summer Nights, they talk about the burger and the root beer, and I'm just like, oh my God. That sounds like another lifetime ago. Thank you for the sparkles. I actually caught it this time, mostly Dell's helicopters. I never did see that 100. You know what? I remember them, but I never had an Orange Julius. But those used to be in every shopping mall, like in the 70s and early 80s. But I never had one. But I remember walking right by them. I don't know why we never had that. Yeah, those are that's a blast from the past. And for me, so were the Dairy Queens. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Blondie's Pizza in Union Square. Don't know that. What's your go-to brand of root beer when you drank it? Well, when I was a kid, I liked the A&W, but they didn't make it like in the grocery stores until when I was much later in life. Like they didn't have it in the stores. You had to get it from a restaurant. But there's this one, and I used to have it on my Amazon wish list. I'll have to put it back up. It's a brand that they have to send it from like New York or New Jersey, and it's in a bottle. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it up on my wish list, and you guys can see. And it's so good. They make a vanilla cream, and they make a root beer, and they make a diet root beer. I just bought some recently. It was on Amazon, and because I had some like rewards or something, and I'm like, let me look that up because it's like the absolute best. And I was like, oh, this is so good. Let me look at my order tab and I'll see it because somebody sent me a card or something. I can't remember. It must have been for my birthday or something. And I was like, oh, I can order that root beer now, but it takes forever to come. And a couple times the shipments didn't make it because they sent them to FedEx, but the last couple ones came through a different company, like On Track. Here it is, Boylan. Oh, the Boylan Diet. Yeah, but it's expensive just to get like 6 12-ounce bottles is $26.14, and it's not a prime item. It has to come all the way from the East Coast, and it crawls across the United States. Ugh, the Boylan Diet. To me, that's better than the A&W. I wonder if Dixie Queen is like Dairy Queen. I've never heard of Dixie Queen. In the South, they used to have a little local restaurant called Colonel Dixie. What a name, Colonel Dixie. And they had like hot dogs and chicken. It was garbage fast food. But I never heard of Dixie Queen. I've never had an Orange Julius, but I remember walking by and seeing that big, machine and the stuff like rotating, kind of like an icy machine. All the eateries disappeared from the pandemic. Yes. Yeah, well, I was in the pandemic. I was never quarantined because I was going through chemo. So I was out every day. IBC. Yes, I like IBC. Or A&W. Yes. But try the Boylan, whether it's the loaded stuff or the diet. It's fantastic. We do not have Sonics in LA. I think I ate at one once or twice out near March Air Force Base on a gig, and it was just like, oh, this is bad. And I know they have them in Vegas, but we don't have them in Los Angeles. Used to fill gallon jugs with A&W. Oh, wow. Chicken Delight. Don't know what that is. Sonic has the best drinks. Oh, wow. Sugar feeds cancer. Yeah, that's why I have the diet. Yeah, I don't have the sugar ones. Even this Gatorade that I'm drinking is 0 sugar. And then I have the water on my desk, my water, and my 0 sugar Gatorade. Yeah, I've cut most sugar out of my diet. Not completely, but most. Yeah, stage 4 metastatic breast cancer in your bones. Well, keep fighting. My sister in breast cancer. Mama sees it all. Or Mama sees all. Why do I keep saying Mama sees it all? Mama sees all. Yeah, for those that can have sugar, go for the non-diet. But when I ordered the boiling, and I did have it on my wish list for a while, but let's see. I don't know if it's on there now. Let me look. I got to bring it up. Got to see my registry. It says view my gift list. And then, of course, I have to go around this. Is it on there now? It is right now. It says 0 of 1. That's there. Dixie Queen seems to be a little more down home, if you know what I mean, than Dairy Queen. Yeah, I've never heard of that. You said that's in San Diego? You'll do up to 9 grams, okay. Yeah, I haven't completely cut it out, but Olipop is expensive but so low in sugar and sodium. I used to catch my own fish. Can't do that anymore. I haven't fished since I was a child. There's this guy I used to watch on YouTube, and he was a reseller, Darth Thrifter or something like that. And he changed his channel to a fishing channel. But he's just out there like every day catching fish, but not for food purposes. I assume he throws them back, but still, like, why put the fish through that just so that you can get a few bucks on YouTube? That really bothers me. I mean, if somebody has to go catch their own fish to eat it, I understand that's food. But just to go catching for sport, it's like people. My dad was he was involved in a group up in Canada called Ducks Unlimited, and they would go out and duck hunt. But he doesn't eat duck. It was just for sport. Like, I don't approve of that. Never been to see a grunion run. No. Against killing them. Yeah, I haven't fished since I was probably, I don't know, like in my childhood. Hi, Jos. Or Joss. Is that short for Jocelyn? Oh, just ignore the trolls, everybody. But yeah, this conversation went totally off the deep end. Somehow we started talking about burgers and root beer. Yeah, Barks has got caffeine in it, actually. I think Mug does too. Some of those restaurant root beers do have caffeine in them, and I don't do any caffeine. You have what in northern Mississippi? Let me fix the inventory there really quick. Yeah, I got to go to the mailbox this week before the holiday because they'll probably close early this week for the holiday. And because I think maybe my my most recent purchase that one of you guys here that's been in the chat today, it might be there by now. So I gotta do that before the end of the week. Go clean out the box. That's gonna be so cool to have a decent piece of equipment here. Yeah, so that's back on the list. Even if you don't want to buy it, you just want to see what it is. That's really terrific. When I went crabbing, never killed a single crab. I never have either. In fact, my entire life, I have never eaten a crab, an oyster, or a lobster. Never. Never ever. And I don't think lobsters should be boiled alive. That's just horrific. Nope, don't eat shrimp either. Never had a shrimp, an oyster, a lobster, or a crab. Ever. I haven't had a burger in years, except for the turkey burgers I recently started eating. And that was the one main meal that I had ordered with my recent grocery order, and they were out, and they didn't tell me. And then I got the order, and I was like, oh, that was going to be 4 meals. I spent all this money on my grocery order, and I don't have any, meals. Just all the side stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And I thought, well, maybe they sold out because July 4th is coming. But I just started those. And they're very lean. But, I love turkeys too. I feel kind of guilty about eating a turkey. I wish I was more of a vegetable person, but I wasn't raised that way. I was raised by Midwesterners, and they were meat and potatoes kind of people. Yeah, I've never been a seafood eater. My whole family was that way growing up. Thank you, Kissing the Dream. Well, we've gone way off the rails here. So go watch, if you're here for Nancy Guthrie, go watch the beginning of this video regarding the message I had for the kidnappers. Kidnappers, turn yourself in. Call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Call the Pima County Sheriff's Department or call Crime Stoppers. Yeah, I've had a fish in my life, Nanette, but I don't eat the shrimp or the lobster or the crabs or the oysters or anything like that. Don't think I've ever had lamb either. I know that's more of a Middle Eastern thing, but I don't think I've had it. I'm sure there's someplace you can buy it in LA because we have so many different cultures here and so many different countries. Yeah, we went off the continental shelf, didn't we? But hey, it's okay. We talked about what we were going to talk about today. Most people don't hang around to the end of the video anyhow. And you guys, we all like to chat about, where you live and what's the weather and how we grew up. But now I'm getting a little hungry. I think I have a grocery store chicken pizza left, and that's it. New Zealand lamb. Yeah, I guess that's really popular in Australia and New Zealand. Never had that either. Squid or frogs? Nope, can't do it. Well, everybody, have a good night. Give me a thumbs up. Today is the last day. This is the last day of the month from a YouTube standpoint, even though they only count every 28 days, but they do count the whole month as far as revenue. So this is the last day if you want to watch videos, anything that you do today will be the last day that will count for this month that I will see at the end of July. So, make sure you subscribe, you thumbs up, you heart the chat. Thank you for the $2.55 in the jewels to all the people that sent. And thank you to the people that sent the super chats. That was way back at the beginning of the video. I'll have to go through the list, but thank you for the $7 in super chats. Thank you for the $2.55 in jewels. Thank you for the 66 thumbs up, and I hope everybody is subscribed. And if anything breaks, I would come on later tonight. Thank you, Mostly Dolls Helicopters, for throwing up some of the custom April Davis PI emojis. Oh, there was one thing for the 29 that are still here. Remember we talked about having a name for the followers, for the subscribers. And I asked Chat GPT and they came up with some good ones. One was PI Posse and another one was Hollywood Sleuths, but this is not just a true crime channel. So I kind of lean more towards PI Posse. And somebody here in the chat that I've seen today, and I don't remember who it was, I'll have to think about it. Or no, I didn't see her here in the chat today. I think it was somebody named Phyllis, who occasionally comes in to watch these lives. She said that she really liked PI Posse and that my subs or my members could be the pips. And I was like, yeah, because, people are like, is it April's PI Posse? Is it the PI Posse? Is it just PI Posse? And she said, we would be the pips, like the viewers, the members, the subscribers. And I'm like, I kind of like that. The PI Posse. That you guys would be, also known as the pips. Yeah. Yeah. Do you like that? I didn't even come up with that. I came up with the PI Posse through Chat GPT. But Phyllis was like, yeah, we could be the pips. I just thought that was kind of cute. Oh, Nanette says, sounds great. Cali Girl on Fire gives it a red heart. Mama Sees All gives it a red heart. Yeah. Because I didn't want to be like April's Army, because that will sound too much like JLR. But the PI or PI Posse, and then, you guys are my PI Posse, AKA you're the pips. That's crazy, right? SR71 Girl says, I vote yes, the pips. Yeah, it's because it's like an acronym for PI Posse. The pips. Nobody going to take me seriously. We got to have a little fun here, Howard, because this is a very dark subject, this Nancy Guthrie case. Somebody has been kidnapped from her home at 84 years old and has probably passed away, and her family doesn't know where she is. We don't know who did this. We talk about a lot of serious, dark things here. But we got to have a little fun some of the time, So that's why sometimes the chat goes off the rails and we just talk about other stuff because we're all just like, we're like a family here. So Howard, go watch somebody else if you're not like into it. But thanks for coming. Appreciate you all. And tomorrow we'll start another YouTube month. So thanks for coming. See ya.